Hello and welcome to Sonata Zamba. My name is Mariam Idrrisu. Today with me in the studios, I have the Honourable MCE for Sagnarigu Municipal Assembly, Honourable Mariam Idrrisu. Welcome.
Thank you, my dear.
Alright, Honourable, today we would want to discuss education in the Sagnarigu Municipal. Basically, I want to know how has education in terms of girl-child education gone so far?
Thank you very much, and a very good morning to our lovely viewers. Today is a blessed Friday, so I say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Sagnarigu Municipal Assembly has a vision to improve the livelihood of our people and then to provide socio-economic infrastructure equitably and sustainably, and that includes education, obviously. And so, having been appointed as the DC and subsequently upgraded to a municipality status and now MCE, we have prioritized education in the municipality. And the reason being that education is the foundation and the bricks of every nation, is the lifeblood of every nation. Before a nation can progress, you need to have an educated population. And this you can testify, or you can attest to the fact that our president, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, has also prioritized education. And that should trickle to every appointee of his. That's what we are all doing. We have to prioritize education, more especially girl-child education. Girl-child education, because if a woman is educated, as an old adage, the entire nation is educated. She's well positioned to be able to take care of her family and the nation at large. And so we are targeting girl-child education in Sagnarigu Municipality because our records indicated that we had more girls dropping out of school than boys. And so this should clearly tell you that you need to pay attention and focus on girl-child education. Education in general is something that Sagnarigu Municipality is always hammering on since the NPP government was elected in 2016. We've come to meet a number of uncompleted educational infrastructure, classroom blocks for that matter, and we have made it a point to complete these ongoing projects for the people of Sagnarigu before starting new ones. And so we've done quite a number and renovated and rehabilitated few and started some too. Currently we have 3-unit classroom block under construction in Balai. We have another one in Burma, that is in the Tamale North constituencies. These two communities are under Tamale North constituency. Then we have one at Ngarom, and then another one at Dimala, and another one at Pene. Okay. This one too falls within Sagnarigu constituency. And even the Pene one, we did it from our internally generated fund, because we need to give back to the people to let them know that what they give to the assembly is not just used for recurrent expenditure, but also to put a physical project for them to feel motivated to give us more. And what better than education? Investing our people's money into educating the same people, especially the children. We've also collaborated with ActionAid Ghana to put up a girls' model school, Sagnarigu Girls Model School, for the first time in the history of Sagnarigu, or since the inception of Sagnarigu as a district in 2012. We did this because of what I mentioned earlier on, the dropout rate of girls and boys, or the girls being higher than the boys. So we collaborated with ActionAid, being a gender-sensitive organization, to assist us, because at the time we didn't have in our budget, our plans and budget to put up a girls' model school. And so we thought that we shouldn't wait until such a time we have the resources to do this. NGOs operating within the municipality, I think, have the social responsibility towards the people that they serve. And so they also have to support us to augment what the government is doing. So they quickly heeded to our call. What we did, that we brought all the stakeholders together, the NGOs within the municipality, and then discussed with them what we intended doing. So they came in and put up a 3-unit classroom block with its ancillary facilities, the library, girls' changing room, the toilet facility, staff common room, headmistress office, borehole. In fact, they've done a lot in this area, and we cannot thank them enough. We always use whatever opportunity we get to express our gratitude to them, and again call on other NGOs that operate within the Sagnarigu municipality and beyond to collaborate with us in the area of education, especially the girl-child education. We don't want to end there. We intend getting a girls' senior high school in that same premises, because we were fortunate enough to be allocated about 6-acre land by the paramount chief of Sagnarigu. Here again, I would pause and say a very big thank you to him. He's a development-oriented chief, and so he's always ready to give up his land for nothing to the assembly for development cause. And so this is a land that we intend to make good use of. We don't want to leave it at the junior high school. We have written to the ministries of education to help us so that we would get the girls senior high school in Sagnarigu municipality again for the first time. And I believe that this is going to be positive. It's going to be positive. We would achieve what we are pushing for, because the ministries also recognize the need of girl-child education and the importance it has in the socio-economic development of every nation.
Okay. Honourable, earlier on you mentioned the high rate of dropouts in schools. I want to know, what are some of the contributory factors to that?
Some of it, like this girls' model school, is a special one. It doesn't target, it's not just the curriculum that we know. We identify some girls that dropped out, and some of the factors were teenage pregnancy, early child marriage, and then the third one, funny enough, was that their source of income for their families. I would say child labor, even though you see them physically and you think they are grown up. But the parents of these girls think that after class 6, what's next? She should go into the market and buy and sell, then bring something to the house, not necessarily getting her married or betrothed. They'll let her go to the market and sell things, and they think that the little money they get from the girl is good for the family, and so they should drop her out and make her sell. Those were some of the factors that brought the dropout. And so we were thinking that if we have a model school, they will serve as role models to the others. Even if you were pregnant, you were dropped out for no fault of yours. you still have the chance to come back. And this girls' model school will absorb you. ActionAid Ghana will take care of you. It's not just the curriculum like I mentioned. We want to impact other attitude in them, boldness, confidence, assertiveness, so that they can take up future leadership positions. You know, this is what this girls' model school is all about. And then the factors again, some of them said they didn't have money to buy new uniforms, and so they looked odd. Maybe she has patch uniforms that were patched, and so when she goes to school, her friends makes fun of her, and she feels she's not fit into the school, she's not fit into the society, so all she got to do is to drop out and go and sell in the market. That's why I say it was funny as a reason given, because my dear, how much is a uniform for a parent to allow the child to drop out because of that? And so ActionAid was ready to target some of these children so that they can even provide uniform as and when necessary. And even as an assembly, we also made it a point to make sure that when we come across those children, we can assist them to get back to school. So these were some of the reasons that prompted the children or brought about the dropout in Sagnarigu Municipality.
Honourable, I'm very happy you mentioned teenage pregnancy and child marriage. I don't know, as an assembly, what initiatives, aside the girls' model school, what other initiatives have you taken towards curbing teenage pregnancy and possibly child marriage?
Yes, we are doing a lot of sensitization and education among the school children. Under the Ghana Education Unit, we have guidance and counseling unit. And so this unit is supposed to link up with the various schools. We even went as far as targeting the schools that had the highest records of the teenage pregnancies, or the highest records of the dropouts, to make sure that we find out reasons, and those are some of the reasons that we got. So we are trying to do more sensitization and education among the girl child. I personally am taking part in this program because I want to serve as a role model to the girls. So some of the time I try to fit myself into the program, so that when they are going, I veil myself, I talk to them, I ask them to aspire to become even better people in future than even myself. I am an MCE today, but inshallah one day we might have a president of the republic being a woman, and it could come from any of them. Then they will clap and be happy, you know. So I think that not the last time I was with my education director, who is also a woman and doing very well. You know, when women are always given the opportunity, we put in our best than the men, excuse me to put it. So she's also doing very well, and I was like, what can we do so that it becomes part of the tuition, the normal tuition we give to children? After 1 hour lesson, you just, as a teacher, just spend some time, especially the female ones. Spend some time and talk to the girls. Give them moral education. I know they have a subject, moral and is it moral education? Religious and moral education. Spend some time with the girl and talk to them about life and consequences of teenage pregnancies, so that together we can build the future of these children. We can let them see their potential, because it's being wasted by adventure. You know, they want to be adventurous, they want to try and see, and it's not their fault, because as an adolescent growing up, you have peer pressure coming from right, left, center. And so if you don't have the right sexual education, you would want to go and try and one trial, you are off year, and then you get pregnant, and your education is ended there. So we are trying to see if we can bring all the female teachers within the municipality together and appeal to them to inculcate it in their normal teaching and learning that they do in the schools. Not only the regular schedules that we have, visiting schools and targeted schools but we want to make it a normal thing in all the basic schools within Sagnarigu Municipality. At least by the time I leave office, we should have something positive. We should have a track record. We should say that, oh, during this period we didn't have dropouts again, we didn't have teenage pregnancies from the school. Maybe it will come from the communities, those that are not in the school, but for the school going ones, we should be able to target them and then change the story of girls in Sagnarigu. Again, we are also calling on the other NGOs, and they do come. As and when we talk about it, they come to collaborate with us to see how they can support in the area of, if I can remember, I can mention SOS, who also collaborated with us in this early child marriage issue. So we used to visit the communities. We formed child protection committees. They help us to form child protection committees within the communities so that they can have listening ear to parents that have issues of child marriage and can refer to the assembly as and when necessary. So there are quite a number of the NGOs, and we are ready to collaborate with them when it comes to girls and women issues.
Okay, all right. These are great initiatives, and I just want to ask, what are some challenges you have encountered in terms of education, teenage pregnancy, tackling all of that? What are some of the challenges you've encountered?
Yes, it's just our parents. I always say that bringing up a child is like we are all stakeholders in it. The parent, the teacher, and the child, him or herself. So, if whatever the teacher does in school and then the parent does not conscientize yourself that I want to bring out the best out of my child, it wouldn't work. So the difficulties just come from the parents who are not ready to listen. Sometimes you have conversation with some of them and they say, in our local dialect, literally, you can't tell me how to bring up my children or how to raise my children. And so those are some of the difficulties, especially when it has to do with child marriage. Unless you resort to threat of taking them to Waju or Dobsu now, or other places, then they will now try to cooperate with you. But if you don't threaten them, you see that they will want to talk all manner. They would, I've had experience. Sometimes we've got to even refer some of them to their chiefs, because at as early as 13 years you want to marry off your child. That is very bad. And so if things becomes difficult, we take them to the chief palace, and then when they summon them, you realize that it will be worked with seriously. So we are collaborating again with the chiefs. The last time I was with our paramount chief, he even summoned, they have weekly meetings with the sub-chiefs. He made me go with, there's this organization, NOSAG and Songtaba. We went there to talk to the sub-chiefs, talk of the early marriage and then witchcraft issues. We talked to them and they bought into the idea. Anytime you have these issues, they are ready to assist you to solving it. So if you don't involve the chiefs and you want to do it alone, sometimes it's really difficult for us. So those are some of the challenges that we have. And others are sometimes, if you think that I shouldn't marry my young girl out, are you ready to look after my family. Somebody would ask you this question. As MCE, are you ready to look after my family? Because he or she, the mother would think that marrying off the child is a guarantee to their livelihood. And for all you know, the man too will take your daughter away and will never get back because he's gotten what he wanted. So he's married and it's not mandatory for him to come back and look after the girl's family. So we are always advocating that give the best of education to your child, your girl child, and she will in turn get back and take care of you. But if you think marrying her off will guarantee your sustenance, you are wrong. So that is what I have to say in this regard.
I think I have followed some of your discussions, and I believe that you're all about women empowerment. But as an assembly, what are some of the things you have done in regards to, or with regards to women empowerment in Sagnarigu?
Yes, in our plans and program, we always budget for women economic empowerment. But that does not include giving out cash to the women. Something like a microfinance, they manage and pay back, you know. We support them in the area of farming. We help them to, in collaboration with Resilience in Northern Ghana, RINC, we support them to cultivate sweet orange flesh potato. Is that what they call it? Alafe Wulijo, that's how we know it to be locally. So we help them to cultivate the sweet orange flesh potatoes, and we also train them in soap making and other things that they can just use to take care of themselves. But most of our women do not like this sport because they are not interested in farming. So very few of them. I think currently we are in 21 communities out of 79 communities. And sometimes you have to even go house to house to get the interested ones to come out to benefit from this package. So I would want to use this opportunity once again to call out on our women. There's no job that is designed for men and not for women. Farming is for everybody. We can take advantage of not only the ring project, because very soon they will be winding up, and as a sustainability measure, we have decided to continue with what they have been doing to support the women within the municipality. There's also the planting for food and job. When you get the records between male and female within the municipality, it's not quite encouraging. Why can't we also take advantage of these flagship programs and benefit from it? But most of our women are not interested in the farming. So what we are doing currently is to identify NGOs that are working in the area of women empowerment so that they can support the women and augment what Maslock is doing. Maslock has targeted a number of them within the community to support them with finance, and you know, sometimes we all want to be covered at once. So if it doesn't happen, then some of the women feel they are not part of the national cake. That is not the case. It's gradual. When one group gets today, another one will get tomorrow. But if we can't wait for tomorrow, then others can collaborate with us to let them all get it at once. So these are some of the things that we do as government and as an assembly in the area of women economic empowerment.
Honourable, are there any challenges in that area?
There's always challenges in everything you do, especially at the beginning of it. We just started. Last year it came up, we said that, look, not because you are a woman, but as an assembly we need to focus on women economic development, because I believe that when a woman is financially independent, then we can alleviate poverty. We can end child streetism. We can end child labor. All these things happen as a result of the woman inability to support the man to take care of the house, and even violence against gender-based violence. We can, if women are financially independent, we can end all these things. Sometimes some of these violence occur as a result of a man's frustration.
Yes.
The woman does nothing. The man goes out and all he thinks about is how to come back home with food on the table. And the woman doesn't do anything. I want to also use this opportunity. The men too, maybe we shouldn't wait for government or assemblies to come in to support our women. The little that you have, give a portion of it to the woman.
Yes.
To start something small. And gradually it will grow. It will expand. And you will also be free. She will become independent. She can take care of the children with you. She can support you in so many areas. But surprisingly, you see most of our men working, some of them in the formal sector, yet you trace back home and the woman does nothing. So the little that you earn, ask the woman, what do you think you can sell? Then you give her the capital. And then she'll start gradually, it grows. You can support her and vice versa. The women too, sometimes they are well-to-do, the man too. You can support your husband to also be doing something. Then you can give better education and better upbringing to our children because they are the future. But if you leave everything to the man, nobody knows what happens tomorrow. If he's gone, what happens? The woman doesn't do anything. Then you see the children on the street. You see them dropping out of school, even though now education is free from basic to senior high school. But daybreak, she thinks that I, being the woman, if this boy doesn't go and sell or this girl doesn't go and sell, we can't get food to eat at night because Ghana government has again brought this school feeding program to solve that problem. So now in our communities, no household will have an excuse not to enroll your ward in school, because even if you don't have money to give, the child will get a hot meal at school through the Ghana school feeding program. But we still want the women to be economically empowered. What the assembly can do will not be enough for all. Our husbands, please, support the women. Give them small capital. Sometimes even pure water, she will start with a sachet.
Yeah.
Before you realize she's buying 2, 3, she's added minerals. Before you realize she's opening a provision store, let's support them with the little capital that we can give them so that they become financially independent and support the household to have a better future.
For a lot of us, we see you as a role model, but I want you to talk about something that a lot of us young girls do not realize. For women in your position, how does it feel like to juggle work and family? Because a lot of us think that once you're married, there are certain things you can't aspire to become anymore. You're just a family woman. So I just want to talk about that.
Yes, first of all, it's not through that it is impossible or it's not possible for a family woman to be in politics or for a family woman to be entrusted with a leadership position. God being so good, he has made women, there's this saying that Mark Golden said that women shouldn't even say we are equal to men. We should say we are more than men, because when a woman is given a sperm, she makes a child out of it. When she's giving grocery, she makes a meal out of it. When you give a woman a smile, she gives you her heart. So there's nothing impossible there's nothing impossible for us. If you get a supporting spouse, it's very important. Our spouses our brothers, our uncles, because not all of us are married,
Yes.
but the married ones, is very important for them to support. Our family members, is very important for them to support us. Because without them, as you said, you alone cannot do it.
Yes.
Our mothers-in-law, our mothers themselves, they need to help us to take care of the family, the children. As you are here, somebody is at home taking care of them. I have twins. Fortunately for me, I gave birth a month after my appointment. They were twins. Wow. And we are still working. I did say because of the twins, I couldn't continue. You should have the positive attitude. You should be assertive. You have the belief in yourself that there's nothing you cannot do. There are other women in other sectors who equally have children and are working all right. But they say, oh, as for politics, we can't go there. Why can't you go there? If women participate in the economy, everybody benefits. So I want to use it as an opportunity to urge and to encourage other women out there who have the belief they cannot do it, to start believing in themselves from today that there's nothing impossible for the woman. The woman can do everything if you get the support, of course. So our family members have a role to play. Our spouses have a role to play. Our fiancés, our boyfriends, they all have a role to play. So when you have a partner, a girlfriend, a sister who confides in you, I want to do this, support her, give her the necessary encouragement, and then you blend it with your positive attitude, then you are going. We bring the human species on earth, and so we never want them to go wayward. So when women are in leadership position, that is how we carry it. It's like one of your own, just like giving birth to a child. You want to raise the child to the admiration of all, so that one day you can sit back and say, oh wow, this is my proud product. And so similarly, leadership positions are just like that. A woman always wants to nurture the position as if it is one of her own, but it comes with challenges. And like I said earlier on, there's nothing that you do without challenges. You would have to learn how to manage it. The gender stereotyping will come. She's a woman after all. She belongs to the kitchen. She belongs to the child raising department. But you need to tell yourself, you need to have that positive attitude of making sure that what men can do, we can do better. Then you are good to go.
Okay.
We need more of you. We need more of the young girls. The affirmative action bill is coming on live. 40 for the women, 60 for the men. So if eventually it comes and we don't get the women to fill those positions, what happens? So we need to start grooming you right now for the future, so that we can have women everywhere you go. Thank you.
Right. Okay, Honourable, any final words for the young girls out there aspiring to become like you?
I think this one should have been my final words. Having the positive attitude, boldness, having the courage. No girl out there should feel that there's nothing or there's something impossible. We have what we aspire to be. Michelle Obama has ever said that we shouldn't even ask our children, what do you want to become? Because we can explore all the avenues, all the opportunities available. You shouldn't just tell yourself, I want to become a doctor in future, and that ends it. You can be in the medical school and still think of other things, like becoming a politician, like becoming an MCE, an MP. So just have the positive attitude and believe in yourself that there's nothing impossible for you. but that doesn't mean that you would start rubbing shoulders with the men, disrespecting them. No. As our nature, it is believed that women should be submissive to our husbands. And so even out there, let them see that submissiveness in us, so that they will have the belief that, oh, even if we entrust the whole Ghana into the hands of women, it will succeed. So when you start becoming successful as a young girl, do not be filled with pride. You still continue to be yourself as a woman, as a girl that you are supposed to be. And you will realize that you have a responsible future and bring up responsible children for that matter. So this is what I have, not for only our young girls, but for women out there. Rafaela is in the process of being launched in Ghana, and we intend to use that platform to educate and sensitize, advocate more for women to have the confidence and the courage to be in leadership positions, not only political ones. Rafaela is the network of locally elected women of Africa. And then I was fortunate to be elected as one of the vice president for West Africa region.
Wow.
And that makes me the president for Ghana. We are in the process of launching it, and we intend to use this network to touch base on the young girls especially, so that they'll begin to explore the potentials that they have before the affirmative action bill is finally passed. Thank you very much.
Honorable, thank you very much for being with us today. This has been Sanat Zamba. See you next time.